All right, this is our next lesson, 6.4 continued. This will be graphs of cosine, and we'll add in vertical shift. All right, so when we're graphing cosine and sine are very similar. The only difference is cosine will start at its maximum or minimum value, and sine starts at 0, or what we call the midline. So, graphing cosine here. First, I see I have a period change. B is equal to pi. So we need to figure out the period, which will be 2 pi divided by b. B is pi, so 2 pi divided by pi, I get 2. So it's only going to take a distance of 2 radians for our function to repeat or go through one cycle. So get my axes set up here. So I'm going to graph from 0 to 2 on my theta axis. All right, cut that into 4 equal sections. So 1 here, 1/2 there, and 3/2 there. Okay, so we're graphing positive cosine of pi theta. Again, cosine, I want you to imagine a unit circle right now. Imagine a unit circle. Hey, cosine at 0 radians is 1. So cosine at 0 radians will be 1, or its maximum value. Okay. When we end our cycle, cosine will be back at a y value of 1. So at 2, we're going to be at 1 again. Okay. And in between, cosine starts at 0, and then next it's going to be back to the, or starts at 1, back to the midline, or back to 0. And then to its minimum, or -1. Back to 0, and then its maximum. And then our curve should look something like this. It should start at 1 here and go kind of like straight out, and then curve down. And then here, we call it inflex. Here it's going like decreasing, and then here it's kind of changing its inflection back. Curve like this. And keep that curve, and then it inflects again, and then curves back to there. And that's one period of cosine. All right, next one we're going to graph here, cosine theta plus 1. We're going to throw in a vertical shift, or C. Looking back at our transformation equation from last lesson. A is what we call the vertical stretch, how much the graph is stretched from its midline. B is the period change. D is the horizontal shift. We're not going to do that yet today. And C is our vertical shift. So we're not stretching with C. C is just either translating it up or translating it down. So cosine of theta plus 1, I can see you're going to translate everything up 1. So the period hasn't changed, it's just cosine of theta, so the period would be 2 pi. Get our axis set up here. We're going to graph from 0 to 2 pi. Cut that into 4 equal sections, so half that's pi, half that's pi over 2, 1 pi over 2, 2 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. Okay, next. I'm going to shift everything up 1. So instead of our midline being 0 on the y-axis, let's go here, theta. Instead of the midline being 0 on the y-axis, our midline will be everything shifted up 1. So at 1 here, I'm going to draw a little dashed line. Try to draw as straight as you can, and that will be our new, I said midline. So cosine of theta, cosine starts at the max. Well, normally max for cosine is 1, but we've shifted up 1. So now the cosine's max for this function will be 2. Start at 2. And then come back to its midline. I didn't say 0 this time because now the midline is 1, so back to the midline. And then to its min, which is 1 below the midline. Back to the midline. And then to its max at 2. And then make sure nice smooth curve here. There you go, there's one with a vertical shift. All right, next one here we have 1/2 sine of x minus 2. Notice I changed theta to x. It's not a big deal. Our textbook is going to use sine of x a lot when we're graphing, so just x, theta, whatever. Just our independent variable, our domain, our inputs. Okay. I see I have a amplitude change of our stretch here of 1/2. A is 1/2. B is equal to 1 here, so period change, or period will not change. Period is still 2 pi. And C is -2, so we're shifting everything 2. All right, so let's get our axes set up here. All right, so now we're going to graph from 0 to 2 pi. So we're going to graph from 0 to 2 pi. Cut that into 4 equal sections. So half that's pi, half that's pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. Okay, next. We're going to shift everything up 1. So x-axis, y-axis. Let's see. Our period, again, said is not changed. It's going to be 2 pi, so we'll graph from 0 to 2 pi. And after you graph a few of these, it should be quick to set up your x-axis there. Our shift to -2, so our midline is not going to be at 0 anymore. It's going to be at -2. So let's go. Let's spread this out. Let's go -1 there, and then let's go -2 here. All right. So sine starts at 0, or I should say sine starts at its midline. So sine will start at the midline here. Next, we're stretching by 1/2, or really, it's not, when it's a number less than 1, it's really a compression by 1/2. Sine's not going to go up 1 anymore, it's going to be only going up to 1/2. It's been squished. So here's 1, so sine's going to go up 1/2. Back to the midline. Here, let's go -3 down there, so below the midline by 1/2. And back to the midline. And there's one cycle of pi, or one cycle of sine. All right, last one here, got everything for you. We got let's go. A is equal to -3. That's 2 transformations of 1. We have a stretch by 3 and a reflection. Didn't want to make it too easy this time. Our period change has been changed, so B is equal to 2, which means the period is 2 pi over B, which is 2, so we get pi. Our period is half as long. It only takes half as long for cosine to go through 1 cycle. And C is equal to 1, shifted up 1. And let's see, why not? Let's go 2 cycles. We're going to graph 2 cycles of cosine here. We'll make it too easy. So x-axis here, y-axis there. And let's do 1 positive cycle and 1 negative cycle. Yeah, we'll go 1 cycle to the right of the x-axis, 1 cycle to the left of the x-axis. Let me just check and see if you actually can be able to see this. Oh yeah, no problem. All right, so we're going to go a distance of pi in the positive direction. So let's go pi here, cut into 4 equal sections, pi over 2, pi over 4, 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4. Okay, let's set up 1 period to the left, or negative direction. Let's go, negative pi there. Negative pi over 2. Negative 3 pi over 4. And negative pi over 4. Okay, notice I just copied those values, just made it the opposite. Next, we've been shifted up 1, so our midline is now up 1. Okay, good. Cosine will start at its maximum value usually, except we have a negative, so cosine will be flipped and will start at its minimum value. It's not going to go from 3 to -3. We are stretching from the midline 3. So if our midline is 1, the maximum value is going to be 3 higher, or 4. That's okay. And our minimum value will be 3 lower than the midline, or -2. Okay. Cosine usually starts at its maximum value, but we've been reflected, so it's going to start at its minimum value, -2. Back to the midline, to the max, to the midline, to the min. And let's go negative direction. So it's in the same pattern but going left. So I'm at the at the min, the midline, the max, the midline, the min. Try to draw a smooth curve through all those points here. Yeah, it actually looks pretty good. There you go. Graphing, pretty fun once you get the hang of it.